Hey there, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be talking all about white-tailed deer.
Oh, cool.
You guys have sent over some fascinating articles, and
Yeah.
let me tell you, there's a lot more to these creatures than meets the eye.
Yeah, no, I was actually just reading this article
Noah.
from Mossy Oak Gamekeeper.
Cool.
It's really aimed at hunters and land managers, but it had
That's
some really fascinating stuff in it.
That's cool. I mean, I've always thought
Yeah,
there were all these different subspecies of white-tailed deer.
right.
I mean, I think I've even seen charts
Mm-hmm.
with like 38 different subspecies or something.
Yeah, well, about that.
Oh, really?
So it turns out that a lot of those old classifications
Yeah.
were based mostly on
Yeah.
how the deer looked.
Right?
So their size and their antlers and things like that.
Makes sense.
But,
Yeah.
a deer that grows up with tons of food
Right.
might end up bigger than a deer that, struggles to find enough food. And that doesn't automatically mean they're a different subspecies.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
It's like assuming all tall people are related.
Yeah.
When really, some might just have better nutrition.
Exactly. It's like,
Right.
and then on top of that, you've got humans moving deer all over the place for,
Yeah.
hunting and,
Right.
and management purposes and stuff.
Mhm.
That mixes up populations even more.
Right.
This article uses the example of Mississippi,
Okay.
where they brought in deer from different areas and basically blurred the lines between
Right.
those supposed subspecies.
So are we saying there are no subspecies at all, or?
Well, not necessarily, but it's definitely way more complex than
Right.
just looking at how they look.
Okay.
The fascinating thing here is that we need to look at their DNA
Wow.
to really understand those genetic relationships.
So who knew deer genetics could be so complicated?
Right. And it makes you wonder how we can effectively manage and conserve them
Yeah.
if we don't even really have a full grasp of their genetic makeup.
It's such a huge challenge for
Yeah.
wildlife biologists.
Absolutely. And speaking of challenges,
Good.
you wouldn't believe the sensory superpowers that these deer have.
What do you mean?
I mean, we think we're pretty good at,
Yeah.
smelling and seeing the world around us,
Right.
but deer are on a whole other level.
Give the rundown. What kind of superpowers are we talking about?
Okay, so first of
What's
all,
that?
their sense of smell is
I've heard that.
just phenomenal.
Yeah. Like they could smell fear and all that.
The article said it's 10,000 times stronger than ours.
Wow.
They can smell tiny traces of scents that we'd never even notice.
Really? So
Yeah.
can they smell fear, or is that a myth?
That's a bit of a myth.
Okay.
But what they can do
Yeah.
is smell a whole mix of scents and tell them apart.
Wow.
Imagine walking into a bakery
Okay.
and being able to identify every single pastry
Right.
just by the aroma. That's what deer are doing
Constantly.
all the time.
That's incredible. Okay, so what about their eyesight?
Oh, yeah, their vision is amazing, too.
I mean, they always seem so
Yeah.
alert and skittish.
They're super sensitive to movement,
Okay.
changes in their surroundings,
Yeah.
which makes sense,
Yeah, of course.
with all the predators they're trying to avoid.
Right.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
They don't see the world in the same colors that we do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. So
Yeah.
is that whole thing about them not being able to see blaze orange a lie?
Well, not exactly a lie.
Okay.
It's a misunderstanding.
Okay.
They have what's called dichromatic vision,
Okay.
so they can see shades of blue and green
Okay.
really well,
Okay.
but not so much reds and oranges.
Interesting.
So they might not see blaze orange the same way we do,
Okay.
but it's still way more visible to them
Okay.
than, a lot of other colors in the forest.
So it's not that they're totally colorblind. They just see the world in
Yeah,
different
exact-
color palette.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And all these amazing senses are
Yeah.
tied to their survival strategy, which is basically run first,
Yeah.
ask questions later.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
If your world is full of danger, you want to be able to just spot it and get out of there.
Exactly.
Right. Well, speaking of danger, and this is where things get really interesting. Let's talk about the rut.
Yes.
That time of year when
Yeah.
bucks go a little crazy and all those amazing antlers come into play.
It's a topic that's surrounded by so many
I know, right?
myths and folklore.
Yeah, I've heard people say it's triggered by
Right.
cold weather
Mm.
or the moon phase.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling the truth is
Yeah, you're on the right track.
a little more complicated.
So the article really kind of sets the record straight here.
Yeah.
It's not the cold, and
Right.
it's probably not the moon,
Okay.
although those things might happen
Right.
around the same time.
Yeah.
The real trigger
Okay.
is something called photoperiod.
Photoperiod. Is that some fancy word for moonlight?
Not quite.
Okay.
It basically refers to the length of daylight hours.
Okay.
So as the days get shorter, heading into fall,
Okay.
it triggers hormonal changes in the deer,
me do-
especially in the females.
Interesting.
And are you ready for this?
Hit me with it.
It's the does who are calling the shots when it comes to the rut.
Wait, really? I always thought it was the bucks.
Right. That's what we tend to focus on.
Yeah, with their antler displays and all that fighting.
Exactly.
Okay.
But the truth is, the bucks are actually ready to breed
Oh, wow.
long before the does.
Interesting.
It's the doe's hormonal cycle that determines when the rut actually kicks off.
So it's all about the ladies.
It's all about the ladies.
Yeah, that's a total game changer.
Right.
I bet a lot of hunters are surprised to hear that.
Yeah. You know?
So all those people trying to predict the rut
Mm-hmm.
based on the weather or the moon,
Yeah.
they might be way off.
Totally.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
If you want to understand the rut, you got to understand the does.
You got it.
Okay, well, that brings us to another
Okay.
amazing aspect of white-tailed deer.
Okay.
Their digestive system.
Ooh.
I know digestive systems might not sound as exciting as the rut,
Right.
but trust me, I think you're going to make it interesting.
Oh, I think so. Their four-chambered stomach
4 chambers.
is a marvel of evolution.
Okay, that sounds a little complicated.
Yeah.
What's the point of all that?
Well, it's all about efficiency and survival.
Okay.
So their stomach is basically designed for a browsing lifestyle.
Okay.
So it lets them quickly grab food
Oh,
in areas where they might be vulnerable to predators and then retreat to a safer spot
okay.
to really chew and digest it later.
So it's like they have a built-in to-go box
Yeah, exactly.
for their food. That's brilliant.
I know, it's amazing.
What kind of things do they even eat?
Well, they're not picky eaters. They go for all sorts of plants,
So,
fruits,
yeah.
even agricultural crops,
Right.
depending on what's available.
Mm-hmm.
The article mentioned that acorns are a
Yeah?
real favorite,
I love acorns.
especially in the fall.
Yeah.
You know, kind of loading up
Right.
for winter hits.
Yeah.
And speaking of snacks, did you see that part about bezoars?
Bezoars? What is that?
Oh, so I had to look it up.
Yeah.
It sounds like something straight out of Harry Potter,
Right.
but bezoars are those rare stomach stones
Oh, wow.
that you sometimes find in deer.
Really?
Yeah, basically it's like indigestible stuff.
Okay.
Gets coated with minerals and forms this smooth stone.
So it's not just magic in Harry Potter, it actually happens.
It's real.
Wow. Nature is full of surprises.
Always.
So it's a constant reminder that there's so much we just don't know
yeah.
about the world around us.
You know what's even more impressive than stomach stones?
What?
Antlers.
Oh, yeah. Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Antlers are like the ultimate symbol
Yeah.
of a buck's strength and masculinity.
Yeah.
At least to us humans.
Right.
What's the real story
Right.
behind their growth?
Get ready to debunk another myth.
Okay.
A lot of people think antlers are made
Yeah.
just from the minerals in a deer's bones.
Okay.
But the article explains that it's not that simple.
Okay.
Yeah, bone minerals play a part,
Okay.
but their diet is also really important.
So it's not just about genetics, it's about what they eat.
Exactly.
Wow.
The food they eat throughout their lives,
Okay.
especially calcium and phosphorus,
Okay.
influences the size and quality of their antlers.
Oh.
So a buck that has access to good nutrition
Right.
is going to have some
Yep.
seriously impressive headgear.
That makes sense. It's like saying you can't build a house without good materials,
Yeah.
no matter how skilled the builder is.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
I know.
Okay, so that has some
Right.
big implications for people who manage deer populations,
Mhm.
especially
Yeah.
those who are hoping to see those trophy bucks.
Mhm.
If you want big antlers, you got to make sure
Yep.
the deer have a healthy diet.
It's all connected.
It's all connected.
Which leads us to another fascinating topic,
Okay.
how deer communicate.
Ooh.
It's not all about those loud grunts and snorts we hear during the rut.
Right.
They actually have a whole secret language
Exactly.
of scents
Yeah.
that they use to communicate with each other.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I've always heard about those
Yeah.
rubs and scrapes where they leave
Right.
scent messages for other deer,
Mhm.
but I always thought it was just
Yeah.
about marking territory or something.
It's way more complex than that.
Really?
Yeah, they have special glands
Okay.
all over their bodies.
Okay.
Around their eyes,
Yeah.
on their legs,
Uh.
even between their toes.
Wow.
And each gland
Yeah.
releases a different scent
Okay.
that conveys a different message. My mind is blown. So what kind of messages are they sending?
Well, for starters, they
Yeah.
can leave scent trails that other deer can follow.
Oh, wow.
They can signal their dominance,
Yeah.
their age.
Interesting.
even their reproductive status.
It's like their own version of social media.
Totally. It's amazing.
That's so cool. Did you see that part about the scent
Yeah.
from the gland between their toes?
The interdigital gland.
Yeah, the interdigital gland.
Yeah.
It's that the scent changes as they get older.
Isn't that wild?
That's crazy. What's that all about?
Basically, it means other deer can sniff out a buck's tracks
Wow.
and get a sense of how old and mature he is.
It's like they have a built-in age detector.
It is.
That's insane. So how do they even read these messages? Like, how do they know
Right. So
what that scent means?
fascinating behavior
Huh.
called the Fleeman response.
The Fleeman response.
Have you ever seen deer do that?
I think so. Is that the one with...
Where they kind of curl their lip?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've seen pictures.
Especially during the rut.
It looks like they're smelling something disgusting.
It's not disgust.
Okay.
It's actually a way for them to taste the pheromones in the air.
Really?
Yeah, they have a special organ in the roof of their mouths
Oh.
that helps them pick up on these really subtle scent cues.
Wow. So they're literally tasting the air
They are.
to get information about other deer.
It's like a built-in chemical analysis lab.
That is insane.
I know. And here's another fun fact that blew my mind.
Okay.
Can actually be bred by multiple bucks.
What?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Sometimes even twins can have different fathers.
Oh my gosh, nature is crazy.
I know, right?
So I guess that explains why there's so much competition between the bucks during